Hey everybody, I'm Mama Verde and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have another food bank haul for you. This is our local food bank. We're allowed to come once a week. I like to go because it really helps benefit my family. It helps us stretch our grocery budget so we can afford other things in life like medical bills and school supplies and rent. So if you're one of those families where you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're suffering from the pain of inflation, I hope you consider going to your local food bank. It is for all members of the community, college kids, our elderly, the working poor who are just struggling to make it by. Please consider going to your local food bank. I do have resources listed below if you need a place to start. Alright guys, so I'm going to get in here. I'm going to show you what I got in my food bank this week. Before we get into the video, please make sure to give me a like, subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Every like, comment, share, it really helps support my channel and I appreciate it so much. Alright guys, let's get into this haul and let's see what goodies I got. Our food bank here in Missoula, Montana usually has quite an abundance of food because it has a lot of grocery stores as well as farmers that donate any food that's left over to the food bank. So it has volunteers that help run it and sort through everything, and that's why I'm very fortunate to be one of the community members who gets the benefit from this food bank. Now not every food bank is like this, so do make sure that you shop around. If you find one that isn't quite as providing as another one, you never know what you can get, so please make sure you look around. I'm going to start with breads because they had lots of breads this week, as usual. Always lots of breads and usually sweets. So I got a pack of ballpark hamburger buns, as well as whole grains, Dave's Killer Bread, which is a really good brand. So I grabbed this as well. I'm probably going to chuck those in the freezer. And then I have some country French bread here. I actually had Gideon with me shopping. He's been loving shopping with me the last couple of weeks. So he came with, and he picked these out. Oh, it smells so good. Something about fresh bread. So we got 2 country loaves from Costco. And then we got a pack of everything loaves. These make wonderful sandwiches, or you can just cut them up and use them for like garlic bread is also good. And then these Kaiser rolls here, 4 count. I thought these were cheddar, but I think these are just plain Kaiser rolls. So I grabbed a pack of that. And then they have this brioche bread. Last time they did this, I made some pumpkin spice French toast. Oh, husband was drooling, that's for sure. So I'm probably going to do the same thing with this because I'm out of French toast in the freezer. So I'm just going to cook up this whole thing and get my freezer stocked with some French toast. Alright, and then for the extra, they had like little things of packets of salt, packets of Parmesan cheese, and then a couple of Keurigs of coffee. Cinnamon dolce. The cinnamon coffee is so good. So that was a fun little pack. I might have the kids open it up and we can keep all the salt or Parmesan cheese in a container, or I might just use it here and there. So I grabbed that. And then they had a coleslaw mix here. This looks really good. I like that it already has the cabbage all sliced up, ready to go. This does not come with any kind of coleslaw dressing, so I'm actually going to make some homemade dressing, and I'm going to teach you how to make homemade coleslaw dressing to go with one that's perfect for this size. So we're going to be doing that later on. And then they also had this salad mix, which is better than a burger salad kit. You hear that, husband? This salad's better than a burger. So it has crispy fries, cheddar cheese, crispy onions, dill mustard crouton crumbles, and burger sauce dressing. So it sounds pretty good. We'll probably have this. I'll probably send this with husband for lunch, send half of it to lunch with him, and just have the dressing on the side, and then half with me, because he doesn't mind salads every once in a while for lunch. Just don't feed the man too many veggies. Speaking of veggies, we got 2 of these squashes. Husband, you know what these are called? No. Just little round squashes. We'll probably cut these open and roast them is what I'm guessing I'm going to do with them. I'm not quite sure yet. These also store very well for long-term storage, like over the winter and stuff. Especially they're nice and hard, so I have time to work with these. These aren't something that I need to process right away. Also, they had tons of potatoes, beautiful red potatoes. Look at these, and it was unlimited, but I just grabbed one big old bag full of them. So I have time to think about what I'd like to do with those. And then it's also the last of the apple season. Like our frost is here and everything's going, so people are picking all of their apple trees and donating all these apples to the food bank. So these are gorgeous apples. I got a bag full. Also had lots of bananas, so I grabbed 3 things of bananas. And then they had pears. These ones are not quite ripe yet, so I grabbed these because I had the ones from last week that are ripe now. So now these will probably take another week and then before they get ripe. And these are really big ones, so these are going to be fun to can. And then they also had some of these little poblano peppers. I thought these were super cute, definitely homegrown. And they smell fantastic, so I grabbed 3 of these. And then I also grabbed a bunch of chives. I'm going to dice this up really small and freeze dry this because I find that is the best way to preserve herbs. But if you don't have a freeze dryer, you can definitely use your oven. I have a video on how to use your oven to save herbs. I can link that below. But for my choice, I'm going to freeze dry these. And then I just got a couple of green tomatoes and some tomatillos as well. Hopefully I'll make some green salsa, which goes really good with chicken in a crock pot. So I had that, and then also they were handing out 1 bag of peach to every family because they had lots of peaches. And these are gorgeous looking peaches, so I grabbed 1 bag of those. And then they had bags of tomatoes, so I grabbed some cherry tomatoes for Betty Jan. She loves cherry tomatoes, so I grabbed her a bag of those. And then also lots of strawberries again, so we got a container of strawberries. So I'm going to get those in the fridge, and then we'll do something with these, because the bottom's kind of squishy, but the top looked great. And then for the milk, we got 2 half-gallons of milk, so I grabbed that. They had little things of yogurt here, and what I'm going to do with these, because these are super small, 4 ounces, so I'm sure this is a kid-sized portion, but my kids are going to go through this, October 21st it says. But my plan for these is I have these leftover corn dog sticks, and what I'm going to do is poke a hole in the top and stick that in there. And then we are going to put this in the freezer. And then when it freezes, they will have some peach frozen yogurt pops. So let me go put these in the freezer and then we'll check on these later. All right, I got that in the freezer. And speaking of the freezer, they didn't have many choices in the freezer at all. No meats, but they did have a pack of corn. So I grabbed that. This is, I think, 2 pounds. Yeah, 2 pounds of corn. Always nice to have that. And then they did have some hot foods in there that were frozen, and this happens to be chicken wings. 15 piece, which is $19.35. I love chicken wings from the delis. Like, chicken wings. Give me some chicken wings with some blue cheese and ranch, onion rings, and a beer. And I'm a happy girl. Oh, it smells so good. So these look a little, I mean, they've been on the bar a bit, you know, so I don't know how these would do too much reheated, but I might shred it and use the meat for something. And that's quite a bit, like, oh, I love a chicken wing so much. So I'm excited for this. I think that'll be good. And it's just funny that it happened to be one of the only things there. And one of my favorite things to get is chicken wings. So score on that. Get this in the freezer. And then I got a couple of bulk items here, starting with 2 number 10 cans of applesauce. This one is unsweetened applesauce, and this one is supreme, which means it just has apple juice mixed in with it, and this is just apples and water. And then this apples, water, and apple juice. So that's pretty exciting. I don't see an expiration date on them, but it could just be that they're kind of beat up, so maybe they wouldn't sell if it was a store that was selling them. Cisco is a very popular brand in the food service industry. It's one of the main companies that provide food for restaurants. So Cisco is very well known, and a lot of the generic food that you see, it kind of reminds me of like the Dharma Initiative from the show Lost. And it's just very generic that, and a lot of people use it. Like buffets would use their applesauce to go on a buffet, or macaroni salad. They also had a potato salad there, but I went ahead and grabbed the macaroni, 8 pounds, because we got 8 pounds of potato salad last week. So now we got 8 pounds of macaroni salad. And this one's good until October 23rd, and right now it's the 10th, so we still have 13 days before this technically is by its best by date. So that's nice because we are still working on a potato salad, but it's going to make it. We're going to eat it before it goes bad, that's for sure. So anyway, like Cisco, and here's also a gallon of Italian dressing. What am I going to do with this? I have a couple ideas. I think I'm going to do some marinades for the freezer. You can make pasta salad with this. I don't know, what are your guys' ideas of what you can do with a gallon of Italian dressing? But Cisco, again, is just the typical brand that a lot of restaurants use. I don't see a date on this either. And then, a gallon of barbecue sauce. Holy moly. And this is Smokehouse. It sounds good. There is high fructose corn syrup in this Italian dressing, which is just something I look for. It's one of those ingredients. I'm just like, does it have it in there? I'm like, yeah, it does. But this one does not. This is just tomato puree and then sugar, distilled vinegar, and salt. And then it's got other kinds of flavorings in there, but that's it. So I'm planning on recanning this into smaller portions. That's on my to-do list with this haul as well. I'm excited for this macaroni salad, but I'm not going to open it just yet. And then I raided the volunteer shelf too while I was there. They don't mind if you go and check out if there's any food that you need, even though if you're not really volunteering that day, but since you're a regular volunteer. So they had a pack of Jell-O that went out in November of 2020. So we grabbed that because we've been going through a lot of Jell-O lately. And then they had this box of deluxe shells and cheddar cheese that looks like it was just split open. But the pasta's still in there, the cheese packet's still in there, it looks fine. So I grabbed that as well. And that is all I got on my haul this week, but I'm going to be doing a lot of cooking and a lot of preserving. I have my list here of everything that I want to get done in this haul. I have it in my handy dandy notebook that I happen to have merch, and it's possible that it's going to be linked below if you're interested in getting a handy dandy Mama Bear notebook to keep your thoughts, lists, and questions to yourself. So this, oh, and stickers, you know, just little doodles. I really like this notebook. I like that it flips so you can decide, oh, there's my pizza dough recipe. I'm going to be doing pizza dough here. But anyway, here is all the stuff that I want to get done from all this haul. So like I said, sit tight. I'm going to get some rest and we'll tackle all this in the morning. So don't you click that mouse. For the tomatillos here, I took the skin off of it and we're going to give these a good wash. And then I'm going to peel some garlic and we're just going to roast the garlic and the tomatillos together, and that'll help make a nice flavor, and then we can blend it up and make some homemade verde sauce. So that's kind of my plan with these. I think I'll probably do 2 cloves of these, or 2 bulbs I should say. Maybe 1.5, that's good. We'll do this kind of garlic. I get this peeled and I'm gonna put this, after it's all washed, we're gonna put this in a 400-degree oven and get it resting. I also put the cherry tomatoes, clean them up and put them in a gallon Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna throw them in the freezer just like this. These make great for recipes for like in quiches, and then if you want to save these and use them for a sauce, you can. Cherry tomatoes make a really good sweet sauce, so whenever we're ready to process a bunch of the tomatoes, I just have to pull these out and they'll be good to go. So these are going in the freezer. And I've decided to cut up an onion in there as well, and then I remembered I also have some gorgeous jalapenos. I'm gonna throw those in there. Let's do 2 with the seeds and everything. And now we're going to toss this in oil. I just got some olive oil here. Roll it around, get everything kind of coated. That'll help get it nice and roasted. That's going in until this whole pan will be full of juice, and then we'll have some nice char in there and everything will be soft, and then we'll blend it up. Now these are all done. This is what we're looking for, so I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit, and then we're gonna throw this in a blender. This has cooled down a little bit. I'm going to transfer all this to a blender. You could also use a food processor. I'm going to juice 2 limes in there. And then I have some freeze-dried cilantro. Obviously fresh would be better, but freeze-dried works just fine, or even dried. I'm gonna do about 1/4 cup or so. And then I have some pink Himalayan salt here. I'm gonna put in about 1/2 teaspoon or so salt, and then some black pepper. And let her go. Let's give it a taste. Thick. Mmm. Woo! Whoa! Definitely a little spicy. Let's see. I mean, it's not too spicy. Like, it hits you, but I'm not like afterwards. I think I'm gonna put in just a smidgen. I'm gonna use the bread as a scoop of brown sugar just to cut some of that. Not only the heat from the jalapeno, but the tartness from the tomatillos. All right, try again. And that's much better. So I'm going to close these up, and these are going to go in the fridge, and I'm going to use this for some freezer meals that I'm going to be making with that Italian dressing. So we'll use this and make a verde one as well. So in the fridge they go. All right guys, next I'm going to move on to the garlic bread. So I have about 1.5 sticks of butter here, just kind of softened up. I'm going to add some Johnny's garlic seasoning. I'll throw a picture up here of what it looks like. This stuff is so good, and it's wonderful for garlic bread. So we're just gonna mix this up. Alright, we're gonna cut this in half. All right, now that this is like this, I'm going to pre-slice it just a little bit so it's through but not all the way. I think that's really going to help when we go to serve it to break it up easier. So I'm going to pre-cut a little bit. Like I said, not all the way through. And then we're going to spread some of the mix on it. Oops, got that one a little too far. That's okay. Alright, now I'm going to get a piece of foil. Wrap it up like that. And then I have some Ziploc bags here that I'm going to put it in. And then that's how I'm going to store it in the freezer. And then this one, I'm going to cut straight down. And this one will be a little bigger for when I do big family nights for garlic bread. The other ones will be like for when I do kid lunches, we'll do pasta. These I'm just gonna write garlic bread on. And it's going just in a sack here. Just like that. And now this is going in our freezer. Alright guys, next we're going to be making some homemade coleslaw. So I have 1 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt here. Now this might be a turnoff for you if you open that and you see all that liquid, but that's just the way that has separated. It's perfectly fine. That does not mean that the yogurt is bad. You just mix it all back up and it is just fine. I like using plain yogurt for baking or dips or sauces. So this is what a 1 cup portion would be perfect for. So we're going to do 1 cup. Now, if you don't have yogurt, you can use mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is a great substitute, and most dressing bases are cream-based mixes, and most cream-based salad mixes are mayonnaise. But you can use Greek yogurt, which is what I'm going to do because I have this 1 cup here. All right, and then I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of honey. You can also use white sugar if you don't have honey, or brown sugar. I guess it don't matter. You just use that sugar honey. And then after the honey, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then 2 teaspoons. Usually it's Dijon mustard, but I'm going to be adding horseradish mustard, horseradish brown mustard, because that's what I have. And I really like the taste of horseradish. I think it'll be good in the coleslaw. And then I'm going to do a little bit of salt, some pepper, and then I'm going to add a teaspoon of celery seed. You can always leave that out if you don't like celery seed. Let's mix all this up. It's really simple to make your own dressings, guys. Lots of times store-bought ones have all kinds of preservatives added to it. You just really don't realize how simple it is to make stuff at home. All right, I'm gonna give it a taste, make sure I like it. Ooh, that tastes great. And now we're gonna add our 14-ounce bag of coleslaw. And then we're gonna make sure it gets all coated. It may seem like it's really dry, but the salt and all the seasonings in the coleslaw dressing will bring out some of the moisture of the cabbage, and it'll water it down and make it look good. I'll have a nice creamy dressing. So don't add more. It's best to let this sit. You can serve it as is. I like to let it sit at least a couple hours, if not overnight. And we're gonna wrap it up. And then just like that, we got homemade coleslaw going in the fridge. I'm gonna mix some panko breadcrumbs with some of this garlic butter left over. Gonna make a topping. Alright, so we have the shell noodles here I just cooked, and now I'm gonna add the cheese sauce that comes with it. Believe it or not, but the cheese ones are actually the best. These kind of ones versus the powdered, I guess. Alright, so I'm gonna mix this up. There we go. So here's the typical shell mac and cheese, made as is. And then some of this meat, it just looks pretty gnarly. Like it's been on there for a while. So I'm going to, instead of reheating everything as is, I'm just going to kind of shred it and then make like a buffalo chicken mac and cheese. These poor wings were dry. Have been on there for a while. They were under that lamp. That's alright. That's why we're reusing it and just picking out what meat we can. If we can't save it all, that's okay. Alright, so that's just a couple of wings. Let's mix that around. then we're gonna put this on top. And then we're gonna put this in a 450-degree oven until it's nice and bubbly. And look at that buffalo chicken mac and cheese. Let's give it a try. The crunchy panko bread topping. Definitely switches up the old shells and cheese. Whoops. Whoops. Damn. Jack's gonna enjoy that later. That is a great way to use up some leftover chicken wings and to repurpose some classic shells and mac. I like that crispy bread topping for sure. That adds such a good touch to it. All you gotta do is just add some ranch, drizzle over it. It'll be fantastic. Man, I'm really glad I gave that a try. Here's our garlic bread. It's soft. Pre-cutting it like that makes it easy to tear. So just tear it up, so no need to break out a knife. You already have the knife out when you cut it. Might as well make it easy on yourself for later on, so you don't have to have a knife. And then you could even add butter in between the layers if you want as well. I like those.
I like the blue one the most too. What?
I was only supposed to leave about 5 minutes. Let's see if that worked. Let's see.
Are they hot?
Should be able to twist it.
That's cold.
I really like it right there. What do you think? Can you tell what flavor it is? Peach. Peach. Good job. Well, everybody, it's been a couple of days. I wanted to show you what my chives look like when I freeze dried them versus air dried them. So I had these just in a container like this sitting on my counter, and this is after 2 days, so they are completely dry. They are a bit yellow, if you can see that, versus my freeze dried one, which look pretty much exactly how they went in, except they are crunchy. And the smell. These smell like onions, hardcore. Like, oh, this looks so good. I'm excited. I was able to get this done and another freeze-dried herb added to my collection. Thank you so much for coming along and seeing what I got in my food bake this week and how I utilized it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time on Mama Baird's.